In addition, the permitted TNCs and taxi companies will be required to provide insurance policies naming the city of Portland as an additional insured, and to provide the city with at least 30 days notice prior to a policy being canceled, a reduction in coverage, or an expiration of the policy. The insurance coverage that we will be named an additional insured on is all commercial insurance provided by the companies, including commercial auto liability, commercial general liability, workers' compensation, and employers' liability insurance to the extent the state requires that. Now moving on to the commercial auto policies. The taxi cab companies at the moment have a commercial auto policy with limits of not less than $500,000 per occurrence for claims arising out of, but not limited to, bodily injury and property damage incurred from their commercial activity as a taxi. Permitted TNCs will provide primary coverage throughout the entire 3 phases that we've talked about over the last few weeks. In period 1, which as Commissioner Novick noted, which is the period when the app is on but no match has been made, the minimum liability limits will be $50,000 per person for death and injury, $100,000 per incident for death and injury, and $25,000 for property damage. For periods 2 and 3, those minimum liability limits, that is, period 2 is the match is made and the driver is en route to pick up the passenger. Period 3, again, is the passenger is in the vehicle until the passenger safely exits the vehicle. Primary insurance with minimum liability limits of $1 million in combined single limit coverage for death, personal injury, and property damage, and $1 million combined single limit underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage.
Can I ask a question on that? If the legislature in the next few months changes the minimums that would apply to a TNC, will the language in our code say this is our minimum subject to whatever the Oregon law provides?
Certainly, Commissioner, Oregon law would set the requirements for a transportation network company, and if the state legislature chooses to go that direction, we would simply adopt that as our rule. As of now, they haven't done anything, and the bill, the proposal that we have put in the guiding principles is essentially a national model bill that is going throughout the country for TNC coverage.
What's the minimum again that California adopted? Period 1.
It's 50,000, 100,000, and 30,000 in property damage with a $200,000 excess liability policy as well, but that doesn't go into effect until July 1st of 2015.
And just a technical question, when you come in to get your permit, do you have to have proof of insurance at that point?
Yes.
So you have to have the policy, you have to show that you've got this coverage on the vehicle at the time of the permit issues?
Correct, the company will be certifying that with regards to their drivers.
Okay. So the company will certify it?
Yes, that the driver is insured under the company TNC policy covering all 3 periods as primary.
And the way the code is written, if there's a violation of the minimum standards, you have the option of going against the TNC and the driver?
Correct.
Well,
yes, I mean the company is certifying that they are an insured driver and the vehicle is insured under the company policy.
So you can hold the company accountable if it turns out they're in fact is not the requisite insurance, and you also can go after the driver.
Correct. Well, what we would do is immediately, if that were the case, and I'm just theorizing, revoke the permit or revoke the certification for that particular driver, and notify the company that he is no longer authorized to operate in the city of Portland.
Can I, just so you're on that point, because this is very helpful for me, Brian, the civil penalty table that's attached to the